First Alert Weather Team, we hope you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
From the station that's on your side, this is News 12, First at 5.
All right, a lot of people around our area still battling water issues as pipes thaw and burst. To look at what crews are doing to get systems back up and running coming up. We'll hear more about that coming up in just a minute. The good news, though, also bad news for some people, depending on your pipe situation. You might even call them pipe dreams at this point. Let's check in with First Alert Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale to hear more about this warm-up. And Riley, yeah, depending on your situation, it's a good thing or a bad thing.
I know, it's kind of crazy to think that those weekend rain chances for you in just about 10 minutes.
All right, thanks for that, Riley. Yeah, pipe problems still a big issue in our area. If you've been to a hardware store lately, chances are you've seen a lot of customers up and down the aisle like this, trying to figure out their own pipe repairs. News 12's Taylor Martin spoke with some homeowners who are choosing to go the DIY route instead of waiting on a plumber.
As many people in Augusta are dealing with damaged pipes from the cold weather, they're now out buying supplies and taking matters into their own hands. Busted and leaking pipes have left many without water for days without the help of a plumber. We spoke with local plumbers and they say they're averaging around 45 calls a day just for damaged pipes. As pipes begin to thaw out, many people are noticing leaks and worry about damage to their property. People like Floyd Haynes are just hoping local stores will have the supplies they need to get their pipes repaired. Haynes says he's just trying to get the water back on for his family. He says the 2-week quote he got from plumbers just won't get it done.
I call plumbing folks and they just busy, they swarm. So we're at the mercy of Lowe's, Home Depot.
All new on News 12 at 6 o'clock. I'll have more for you about what plumbers are saying you should do if you're trying to fix your pipes yourself. Reporting in Augusta, Taylor Martin on your side.
Several of our local counties are dealing with some major water issues. We've got phone numbers for Lincoln County, the city of Aiken, and McDuffie County up there on your screen. So I want to give you a second to grab a pen and paper if you need to write that down, maybe take a picture. If you're having any issues with low pressure or leaks, you need to call those numbers. Lincoln County Water and Sewer Authority is asking you, please limit your water use for now. It's cutting off water to several parts of the county temporarily, but you should have it restored within 20 minutes after shutoff. The City of Aiken Water Service asking you to report any leaks to the water treatment plant as soon as possible. Meanwhile, the City of Thompson and McDuffie County say they are monitoring recent water outages and issues. Augusta Water Utilities say they are still working to get everybody's water systems back up and running. If you live in the Saddlebrook and Pebble Creek areas, you should start to see pressure increasing, but beware, it will still be lower than normal. Their last update to us was at noon, but we've reached out for another update. Of course, we'll let you know as soon as we hear back. We're learning more today about a woman charged after law enforcement says she hit a man and dragged his body 7 miles from the crash scene. Here is a map just to put it into perspective for you. Last Wednesday, a car hit 50-year-old William Bell on Deansbridge Road. This is near Morgan Road. It happened around 11:30 at night. Reports say his body was then hit and dragged by a second car. Bell's body was found in a parking lot on Milledgeville Road at Deansbridge Road, 7 miles away from the scene of the crash. Bell was pronounced dead 2:25 Thursday morning. The driver of the first car said he didn't see Bell crossing the street due to the rain. Deputies did not charge them because they say Bell was illegally crossing the road. But Richmond County deputies say the suspect, Jasmine Stevenson, noticed something in the road, and they say she ran over it and continued to drive. Stevenson is charged with homicide by vehicle and leaving the scene of an accident. Live at 5, the Burke County Sheriff's Office needs your help finding a missing woman tonight. 35-year-old April Clinton Lowry. Take a good look. She was last seen wearing a white shirt with khaki pants. She has blue eyes, blonde hair, and weighs about 120 pounds. Clinton Lowry is known to be in the Waynesboro area. If you recognize her, if you may have seen her, please call the Burke County Sheriff's Office. One person is dead after a car fire on I-20 in Warrenton. Georgia State Patrol says it happened Christmas Day around 1:30 in the afternoon. It was near mile marker 163. Troopers say a tractor trailer had broken down in the emergency lane, and that's when they say a Dodge Charger ran into the back of the truck and caught on fire. The driver of the car died, according to troopers. There was also a small child in the back of the car. Right now, we don't know if the child survived the accident, but we are working to learn more. Funeral arrangements have been set for an Orangeburg County woman found dead in her home Thanksgiving Day. Crystal Jumper's daughter, Aspen Jeter, was reported missing that very same day. Aspen was later found in a hospital parking lot in Virginia with her dad, Antar Jeter. He was arrested and faces charges in connection to Jumper's murder. Jumper's funeral will be January 7th in Orangeburg. While the weather is finally letting up a bit, the chaos at the airport, it is not. Thousands of flights have been canceled throughout the country. This is video out of Hartsville-Jackson International Airport where the lines and the waiting, well, they both are long, and that both continues today. Southwest has already canceled 60% of its flights today. Besides Atlanta, Buffalo's Niagara International and Denver International are also seeing major delays and stranded travelers.
Trying to fly home, but that's not looking like it's happening.
Meanwhile, emergency crews are working to dig out parts of the country hardest hit by this winter storm that's left dozens of people dead. The governor of New York is calling this the blizzard of the century. The weather is playing a role in snarled holiday travel. Still, massive flight cancellations, leaving scores of travelers still stranded. NBC's Drew Petromilou reports from Washington.
As crews work around the clock to clear mountains of snow, the death toll from a historic winter storm keeps going up. Now, more than 60 people dead.
That is very sad and very sobering news.
Almost half the reported deaths from the hard-hit city of Buffalo, New York, where the mayor says some have gone 4 days without power in the freezing cold.
This is a historic storm, probably worse than anything that this city has seen in over 50 years.
The storm leaving a trail of destruction across the country. Busted pipes flooding homes, a restaurant completely frozen over, even reports of looting.
I wasn't anticipating a nightmare, but it became a nightmare. They canceled our flight, and they said they can't help us.
And there's chaos at the nation's airports. Tens of thousands of flights canceled, luggage piling up, holiday travelers stranded.
They canceled the flight, and our bags and luggage were stuck in Chicago for 2 days.
Much of the frustration being directed at Southwest Airlines, which canceled 70% of its flights in the travel-heavy days after Christmas.
We're waiting in this long line and we have no idea whether we're getting out or not today.
In a statement, Southwest apologizing to customers, calling the situation unacceptable and saying operations were crippled by the storm. While travelers struggle to get to their destinations, the Department of Transportation saying it's concerned by the rate of cancellations at Southwest, promising a close examination of the company's actions. Drew Petromilou, NBC News, Washington.
A growing number of lawmakers voicing concerns to members of the Senate Commerce Committee, calling on Southwest to compensate passengers for all of their travel expenses. The start of the new year means new Georgia laws taking effect January 1st, a lot of them focusing on your health. In 2023, healthcare providers will now be expected to provide options for mental health and substance misuse treatment, just as they would for any other physical illnesses. The law also gives more funding for courts to address substance misuse issues. There's also the Informed Consumer Act. It is meant to keep online shoppers safe by verifying information for high-volume online sellers. Many of us have...
Our offices are closed today. That's a sign reading here at the McDuffie Government Center, as the government has the day off not for Christmas holidays, but for another reason. Find out why, all new on News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Plus, As many of us have family to lean on when we're our sickest. For an 8-year-old Georgia girl, she has her whole community. Coming up, how the power of those in her town is working to make her and her family feel loved this holiday season.
Well, we are going to continue with cold mornings the next couple of days, but warmer temperatures are on the horizon, and we're actually getting above average. Take a look at that full forecast just after the break.
Time and
Murphy Claus is back to say we want to offset the cost of inflation this holiday season by giving away $500 a day until Christmas. We're different. Let us prove it. Learn more at mymiracleadvantage.com, Facebook, or Instagram.
Up to $8,000 off new Ram 1500 quad cabs, $599 a month.
Largest selection in the CSRA.
It's the Big Finish 2022 in Waynesboro.
Okay, you can't see how cold it is, I guess, but it is getting better outside. Riley, it has been an unusually cold. There were people sharing current temperatures on Facebook just for the purpose of it showing up in memories a year later to prove how cold it was in our area.
We had temperatures as low as single digits in a few spots for our New Year's Eve, and if you have plans to be up around midnight New Year's Eve night, there definitely will be the chance for rain. So if you have outdoor plans, just may want to have a plan B for inside.
All right, thanks for that, Riley. The Georgia community, just 4 hours away, has come together to help a young cancer patient. Candace Blake explains how the support is going a long way, not just for her, but for her entire family.
I remember sitting there on the bed, waiting for her to come back, and looking down that hallway. And I was like, man, it was just quiet, just her and I sitting there, and I was like, I don't like this feeling.
That was the beginning of what would be a heartbreaking journey for the Mills family. On October 7th, 8-year-old Raylan Mills, Ray for short, was diagnosed with osteosarcoma cancer, a bone cancer that begins in the cells that forms bones. It was in April when Ray was out playing softball and another player fell on top of her. In June, the Mills family found out Ray would need a screw placed to help heal a fracture. 2 weeks later, things took a turn for the worse. In July, her parents noticed she couldn't use her right leg. After many x-rays and MRIs, Raylan was diagnosed with cancer. Shortly after, in November, Raylan's right leg was amputated to remove a tumor that had formed. Older brother Cale Mills says that he was devastated when his parents told him the news.
It was heartbreaking. I just seeing her in the hospital bed and sitting there, and I'm thinking, like, why her? How would this happen?
Soon after Raylan was diagnosed, the Thomas County community began to come out and support her in droves. Her former teacher, Lori Young, amongst others, helped put together a softball tournament to help raise money, raising over $30,000 in just 3 days.
This community has just rallied around her, and just such a village.
Shirts, bows, jerseys, yard signs, and much more have been sold around the area, all in support of Ray.
I'm really happy when I go down the road and I see the yard sign.
When asked what makes a community quite like this one, people who live here simply say it's the Thomasville thing to do.
It's just part of the culture of our community. I mean, close-knit community. People look after each other here. It's just part of our culture.
The Mills family is overjoyed with the outpouring of prayers and support.
They have a fight in them now, just seeing Raylan, so it's just nice to know that we can kind of give back through her.
New year, a new mindset when managing your money. Coming up in Watching Your Wallet, some ways to help you keep more cash in your bank account in 2023.
The Live Icon.
We are professional grade. Ring in the new year with new styles and savings at Ashley. Take 10% off your entire purchase now. Spend $3,000 or more, get 15% off. Spend $5,000 or more and get 20% off. Or interest-free financing until 2028 for a limited time. Only at Ashley.
A new year is almost here, so it's a good time to set some financial goals, especially when it comes to boosting your savings. Consumer investigator Rachel DePompa has a list of the top 3 tactics to keep you on track for 2023.
The number one thing you can do is prioritize saving money for your retirement. In an ideal world, you started saving for retirement with your very first paycheck, but we know that's not always possible. Several financial firms suggest you save 15% of your pre-tax income, but honestly, any amount you can set aside is a good start. If your work offers a 401k, take advantage. And experts at the financial website NerdWallet say only borrow against or cash out your retirement as a last resort. The number 2 thing you can do in the new year is save for a rainy day. You can't predict the next emergency, but you can have money on hand. $500 is a great goal if you don't have a savings account. Also, experts say keep a credit card empty so you have space on it if you really need it. All great reminders in the new year. With this, Watching Your Wallet, I'm Rachel DePompa.
Well, we are back with our latest Plunkett Heat and Air Sunshade Giveaway winner. Big congratulations to Miss Marge Mack from Augusta, Georgia. To get your own sunshade, just go to WRDW.com and you can click on contest and enter your email right there. I'm going to look at that 7-day forecast for you just after a quick break.
Get your... She does this cute little saying almost every day that her and her mom used to do. And she says, "Did I tell you I love you today?" And then I say still. And then she says always. So it's just a cute thing that happens pretty much daily. Even just before, I'll just be about to fall asleep and she wouldn't have said it that day. And then she says it. And it's adorable. Forever means it all. It means everything.
I'm attorney Ken.